They looked all over the world to find someone to save their daughter's life. And tonight, the answer for a Chatham bride-to-be is a man in Brazil.
We're talking about the search through more than 20 million people to find a bone marrow donor for cancer-stricken Leah Wightman. Asa Stakel has the exclusive on this story and is live with our top story tonight. Good evening, Asa.
Good evening, Jim and Jess. The plan was to use Leah's brother's bone marrow, but the risks for that transplant were higher than with a perfect match. And then doctors found the answer in South America.
Our town has probably never been so united. Everybody, you know. We have an orange ribbon in common.
With all the orange ribbons in town, Steve Wightman knew Chatham was behind his daughter Leah. That's part of the reason he never gave up hope on a perfect match. But with just weeks left until she needed a life-saving bone marrow transplant, he knew the chances.
You know, the odds are so really relatively low that you're going to get a match, even with 20 million people.
After Chatham held a bone marrow donor drive and doctors looked for 3 months, not a single perfect match in a 20 million person database. Last month at Leah's Buffalo Hospital, we asked her doctor why it was so hard to find that person.
We have a huge amount of cultural mixing and genetic background mixing. And so when you have genetic backgrounds that are mixed, it's much more challenging to get a good match.
And then Tuesday, Steve got the call. The perfect match had been found in, of all places, Brazil.
I said to somebody yesterday, I felt like it was the first full breath of air that I've taken since the beginning of this thing.
The family had been set to use a clinical trial to genetically modify the bone marrow of Leah's brother Ross for the transplant. But this perfect match from a 50-year-old Brazilian man is much better.
She called me and said, hey, this 10 out of 10 works, like, it's a go. And I was so happy. She was so happy.
Now it's off to Buffalo again for Ross and Steve, more hopeful than ever that Leah will beat cancer with this perfect match, and also to see her join with her other perfect match. Leah's wedding has been shrunk to 12 people, switched to a Buffalo chapel, and moved up to Saturday.
I think when you're a father and your daughter is born, you start practicing that toast and this day, Saturday, your whole life.
After a year of cancer, this toast will be different than most fathers. But then again, Leah isn't like most daughters. Well, we'll have photos from that wedding on Saturday. And a side note, Ross got one of the best wedding photographers in the business, John Dolan, to do the wedding for free. Reporting live in the newsroom, Asa Stakel, News Channel 13.
Just incredible in every way possible. Thank you, Asa.